Hey guys, and welcome to a battle between myself in charge of the forces of the mighty Lizardmen up against Mork Laman and his forces of the Dowie. Now, this is normally considered quite a rough matchup for the forces of the Lizardmen. However, they do have a lot of cheap AP as well, so it's not completely one-sided. Now, for our front line, we've gone incredibly wide just to try and wrap the Dowie forces as much as possible. On either flank, we have a unit of Skink cohort. Now, these guys pretty much will lose to every single unit in the Dowie roster in combat. However, they're there to pull around the flanks and harass, Thunderers, Quarrelers, Artillery crews, all that type of good stuff. In the centre pocket, we have chevroned up Saurus Warriors. We have those guys dotted all the way along, as well as the cohort of Sotek, Regiment of Renowned Red-Crested Skinks, just to add a bit of punch. And these guys, they've got pretty decent weapon strength, and they will slowly chew their way through the Dowie front line. In reserve, we have 2 units of Kroxigor. These guys pretty susceptible to long-range missile fire, cannons, and the like, but they can do huge damage once they do get into that front line. Hiding in this little dip over on the right-hand flank, we do have a Skink Priest of Beasts coming in with Amber Spear as well as the Manticore Summon. And we have an Ancient Salamander back at it again, double chevrons as well, just because we had some funds left. Now, the Ancient Salamander, unfortunately, is a unit you don't get to see terribly often. I used to love it when the game, or when he first entered the game, but he's been nerfed pretty damn heavily. However, up against Dowie, if they don't obliterate him from long range, I think he can certainly do some decent work overall. Up in the skies, we do have triple Pterodon Riders. Unfortunately, no Regiment of Renowned ones, but still these guys have a decent rock drop and a nice backline harass. And for our lord, we do have the mighty Gorok. Now, Gorok is fantastic in this matchup. He's a little bit niche, he doesn't necessarily work in most matchups, but Gorok is an absolute tank, and he can go toe-to-toe with pretty much any of the Dowie lords. I think he even beats the White Dwarf in one-on-one fight. And he's going to bring the Mace of Olmec as well as the Rock of Itza, just to make him a little bit more tanky and do a bit more damage in that front line. So that's it for our build. And in the much more compact and defensive formation, as you expect from the Dowie, let's go through their forces. So in the front line, he does have miners with blasting charges, fantastic at clearing out Skink, Chaff, and the like. Centre pocket, he has Dwarf Warriors as well as the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, who have one of the coolest colour schemes of all the Dwarf units, of that dark red and gold. They also do fire damage, they're anti-infantry, they just hold a little bit better. In the gun line, he does have double Rangers, it would seem. Oh no, Quarrelers, Rangers, and Thunderers, so a nice mix overall. As well as double Cannon and the Goblobber. Goblobber, pretty cool grudge thrower overall, which does give a discouragement as well. Double Cannon going to be very scary for my poor Kroxigor. And protects them all, he does have a unit of Slayers in Deep Reserve and some Dwarf Warriors on the side. For his hero core, he does have Gotrek Gnarson himself, the ultimate or worst Slayer, depending on how you view kind of the Slayer profession. He has a Runesmith as well, coming in with Rune of Negation, Rune of Wrath and Rune, as well as the Hammer, which is a very powerful item, and Ungrim Iron Fist, which looks so goddamn badass, mixed in here with the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. An absolute monster in one-on-one combat, and of course is unbreakable. Let's get this battle underway. As you can see, some cannon shots already starting to pay some damage onto my Kroxigor. In hindsight, I probably should have hit them behind the hill just to make it a little bit more difficult. And it looks like the Goblobber is targeting down the cohort of Sotek, which is a really good choice. These little skinks will be run over quite quickly. So we do come with some early harass here, dropping some rocks down on top of these cannons, just trying to get rid of the cannon models themselves. And at least it's messed up all the Thunderers, Quarrelers, Rangers. They're all bouncing around, and they're not going to be shooting my front line because they're trying to deal with all of these Pterodons. I'm trying to fly them over in different directions as well, so there's no one way to look. So we do come in for a second rock drop attempt here as well by the looks of it, on top of this mighty cannon. Boom, down it comes, but it looks like all 3 cannon pieces. Oh no, one does finally go down there, and we still have 1 rock drop left in the bat as well. The Ancient Salamander has snuck up on this right-hand flank. Is going to be getting some nice arcing fight as well down the line of the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass there. However, he's going to be switching targets soon as well. I can't know if these guys actually come in with a fire resistance. I feel like they should. Oh, they actually have a weakness to fire. Interesting. Oh, is that dropped on me? Because... hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. That's a little bit suspect there. Does the Ancient Salamander have that effect? I believe it does. Oh, they have the Flammable. That makes a lot more sense. I was wondering why people with flaming swords would have a weakness to fire. It seems like a bit of a haphazard profession there. but instead that's the debuff coming in from the Ancient Salamander. I forgot that she has that. So Pterodons overall doing some nice work. We have managed to bring one of the cannons down to simply one artillery piece, and the War's Dragon Firepiles again beat heavily by that Ancient Salamander. However, the Co-op Sotek take a lot of damage on the way in. They are going to be assisting Gorok up against Unger and Iron Fist here, who has popped Deadly Onslaught, so it should be a pretty nifty fight all round. As we do start to swarm, Crocskull's being left into deep reserve here. Going to be bringing them up now. I was just trying to shut down as many ranged tools as possible, distract my opponent, and as you can see, we are hopping on top of Quarrelers. Stinks have broken into the back line, completely shutting down one cannon, as Pterodons do hop on top of the Goblower. In the centre pocket, we are struggling a little bit with Gorok. Rune of Rathanurin has been popped on him, and he simply doesn't really have the support to face Ungrim as well as this Runesmith. We also had the hammer popped on him, so he's basically doing very little damage output. Crocskulls have finally arrived to the battlefield to assist though, and these crocodile-based fiends will tear up enemies quite quickly. Gotrek is a slight problem, but the miners in the front line have been beaten down by Saurus Warriors relatively effectively, and we have Saurus and Stinks all starting to flood into the back line, as well as a summoned Feral Manticore, who's doing a number over on these cannons. They are down now to just one artillery piece, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess in the back line. Yes, Slayers are here, but they will still go down as well through sheer attrition. Crocskull's going to help jump on top of some miners. Now, Saurus would win in this frontline engagement anyway, but I'm trying to win it as quickly as possible so we can continue to flood and ink troops back into this back line and really put on a ton of pressure. Now, we've pulled out with Gorok here in this main engagement, and we're just going to be slowly feeding in Saurus Warriors, trying to drag down these heroes through sheer attrition rather than sending any expensive units after them. You can see Sally, or Susan, the Ancient Salamander, is launching in a few shots here as she vomits up fire, doing some pretty good work, up to 59 kills overall. And looks like she's not firing just at the moment, she'll be moving forward shortly. Gorok has pushed into the back line. He's getting a little bit last samurai here though by Thunderers as he does hop in. We're doing decent work to the cannons overall, slowly tearing those guys down. Salamander squad has been broken off with a huge arcing shot coming in from Susan, up to 69 kills. Bow chicka bow wow, and yeah, really tearing apart those rangers quite effectively. Crocskull pushing through as well. Just going to be flattening these guys as much as possible. More shots coming in. It looks like just a bit of friendly fire on a poor Crocskull there. But as you can see, Dwarf Warriors being dragged down, Quarrelers are compromised, and in the backline, Thunderers are being feasted upon by the Great White Lizard. He's going to be swinging his mace around, swinging his shield around, and clubbing at these Thunderers. It's decent stats all round, as you can see. Yeah, Thunderers are simply going to be no match for this. The Crocskull do decide to pull away from where the Slayers are for the majority of the battlefield, hop on top of these Dwarf Warriors, and as a huge arcing shot once again comes in from Susan here, up to 84 kills now, these Dwarf Warriors are going to lose this engagement quite heavily here. There's a lot of dwarf units which are rallying. We do have the Goblobber. Looks like some Quarrelers are relatively safe in the centre pocket, although those lizards kind of completely surrounding them, but they're pretty healthy at this point. The miners are going to return as well, so we're going to be taking our Pterodons and trying to float on top of them where possible. Now in this front line engagement as well with the Lords, you can see just through the sheer attrition of Saurus Warriors mixed in with more Saurus cohorts, they will drag down, Runesmiths, Gotrek and Ungrim pretty damn quickly. Crocskulls floating into the back line, going tearing apart Quarrelers. You can see these guys getting flattened as expected. And Gorok is now up against Slayers, but there's so few of them, he's not going to mind too much. Rune of Rathanurin has been popped on him, but he has all his buffs as well to help protect. And it looks like we've broken the back of this Dowie formation. Dwarf Warriors running for the hills, as well as Quarrelers here. Runesmith trying his best, popping Rune of Negation to keep these guys fighting. Gotrek as well, doing all his buffs, up to an impressive 38 kills. But he's just been completely surrounded and slowly dragged down here by the glorious and holy Saurus Warriors. Skink Priest being used to chase down Cannon Crew, which is a pretty good value into this late game, as Pterodon Riders just going to be a nuisance in the backline. Even if I don't kill these Thunderers and we get dragged down by those other units, we're distracting so many of them from the main engagement, and it's allowing us to mop up the Runesmith, surround these heroes, drag them down. And it looks like Susan is out of her ammunition now, but up to 97 kills is pretty damn impressive. Looks like army losses has set in here. We just have all these Slayers left. Looks like the unit did go down. Fortunately, poor Ungrim is down to just 140 health there, so he'll be going down in short order, and Gotrek is really starting to struggle as well. And with that, it is going to be a Pyrrhic victory to the forces of the Lizardmen. Super fun match and a tough matchup, so well played to my opponent there. He had a pretty cool build. I think he had maybe just a few 2 units to defend here. He did come in with 6 units of ranged troops, which can certainly be done, but with Dwarf Warriors and Miners for your front line, I was always going to be able to push through and hop on top of those guns, So if they didn't get a huge amount of value early on, they were going to start to struggle. As for this Lizardman build, it works pretty damn well. Gorok is incredibly good in this matchup, as we previously stated, holding back all those heroes and lords and just doing some general decent damage. But honestly, the real MVP is probably just the chevroned up Saurus warriors. Adding a few chevrons to these guys really helps them break through the front line quickly and hop on top of that back line. And you can see from their kills across the board, 60, 63, 78, 40, 26, decent stuff all across the board. Although Susan did come in with a whopping 97 kills as well. But of course, if that back line's not harassed well, she will go down very quickly. So a bit of a glass cannon option in this matchup, but did some decent work overall. Really neutered the potential of the Warriors Dragonfire powers before hopping on top of some of those ranged troops. Anyway guys, hope you did enjoy. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Total War Warhammer content, and like the video, comment. I do try to reply to all comments. I tend to do them in batches, so I leave it a few days and I'll reply to everyone in one go. So if I don't reply straight away, don't feel like I'm ignoring you or any of that nasty stuff. Now, if you do want to see replays by yourself up on the channel, or get involved in the tournament scene with King of the Hills tournaments and all that good stuff, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just down below in the description, as well as links to Patreon donations, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway guys, until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.